When I think of you, I see the skyline of my heart rising where there once was only open ground, a horizon untouched until your name laid the first stone. You are the blueprint of every longing that shaped my quiet into music, the steady architect of what I once feared to dream. My hands tremble with the grace of what you've built inside me, avenues of memory, bridges of breath, windows that open to sunlight, shaped like you. I trace the streets of your voice, each syllable a promise that time will not erode. If love could be seen, ours would glimmer across oceans, a city that glows without rest, powered by the heartbeat we share. I walk through it in thought, hearing laughter echo through marble corridors soft as prayer. Each tower rises on faith alone, each wall carved with tenderness, and in the center stands the cathedral of us, golden and infinite, where every whispered vow turns to light, where I kneel before the truth, that you, my beloved, are the very geography of forever. There is something sacred about how we began, how the silence between us became fertile enough to bloom. You arrived not as conquest, but as revelation, something ancient returning home to its rhythm. I remember the first time your gaze met mine. The world, for a brief moment, forgot its noise. Even the air learned reverence. If cities are built on hope, ours began with that shared breath, suspended like dawn between possibility and certainty. I wanted to reach for you, yet I already belonged to you without touching. That invisible connection built the first foundation, a promise, beneath skin and bone. I have seen nations rise and fall in stories, but nothing feels as monumental as your name spoken in my heart. You made the ordinary miraculous, turned every corner of my being into a street filled with light. There is no compass that can measure what direction we face, for love has its own map, drawn by hearts that remember what the stars once forgot, that some souls are built not to wander, but to build eternity together. In the quiet hours before dawn, I often feel your presence like scaffolding holding my world upright. There are moments I forget to breathe until I recall that somewhere you might be thinking of me too. That thought steadies me, becomes the pulse that keeps the city alive. Each thought of you plants gardens in forgotten alleys of my mind. There are roses climbing brick walls of memory, jasmine spilling fragrance through the gates of my longing. I walk there barefoot, hearing your laughter ripple like a fountain that never stills. Even the moon bends closer, curious about this city of love built in the shadows of our distance. I have learned patience from its architecture. I have learned grace from its silence. You taught me that love isn't an empire to conquer, but a home we build with gentle hands. And though we may be miles apart, I feel you in every breath of wind that touches my hair, whispering that love's construction never ceases. It only grows taller, reaching for the impossible sky. When I close my eyes, I see us at the beginning. When love was merely a sketch, you stood there quiet but radiant, and I realized no crown could ever match the weight of your gaze. I had known beauty before, but never this truth that bends the world into stillness. The city within me began to awaken. Every heartbeat became a stone placed in reverence. Every sigh, a street paved toward your light. I wanted to build a place where your laughter could live forever, where your dreams could rest in safety. Love, to me, is a craft, a sacred art of creation. And so I built, not with marble or steel, but with devotion so pure it could move the stars. The towers rose higher than fear, and every window reflected your face. Even the shadows, once lonely, found purpose in your warmth. You became both architect and muse, the reason my soul learned to rise. Without you, the blueprints fade. With you, every foundation sinks. Sometimes I wonder if you feel the same quiet awe that I do, how our love feels like a nation of its own, with its own rhythm, its own language. We are citizens of emotion. When I speak your name, I feel the streets within me light up, like candles in a sacred procession. You are my evening prayer and my morning vow, the pulse of everything I aspire to become. And though I carry the weight of royal duty, it is your love that teaches me what true sovereignty means. To rule not with power, but with compassion. In your eyes, I find my truest kingdom, a place where vulnerability is strength and surrender is triumph. Together, we've built an invisible empire of affection, one that could outlast centuries of stone. Even if the world forgets our story, it will echo in the architecture of every soul that dares to love this deeply. Each day I wake to a new skyline, your memory painted in the clouds. Even time seems to pause when I whisper your name, as if the hours themselves long to listen. I find you in everything, the shimmer of sunlight on marble, the hush of corridors before dawn, the way the wind carries the scent of lavender after rain. Love has turned my senses into altars of remembrance. You once said that love is not built in grand gestures, but in the quiet choice to stay. And I see now how true that is. Every shared silence, every glance across distance lays another foundation stone. You and I are the architects of something timeless, something not even history can erase. When I walk through my thoughts, I find monuments of us, each one carved by patience, strengthened by belief. Even if the world calls this dream impossible, we will keep building. For love like ours is not confined to walls or crowns. It is the pulse beneath the city's eternal hum. I often imagine walking through the city our love has built hand in hand with you. The streets are paved with hope, the lamps burn with devotion, and the air hums with promise. Every corner tells our story, where laughter once echoed, where tears baptized the ground, where our hearts found their rhythm amid the noise. We are not builders of walls, but of bridges, always reaching, always connecting. There is an art to how you love me, unhurried yet unbreakable, like the foundations beneath cathedrals. I find myself worshipping not you, but the grace you bring into existence. This city of love we've made is not built for grandeur, but for belonging. Its beauty lies in how it breathes, how it listens, how it endures. And if someday the world crumbles, I will not fear. For even if its streets turn to dust, I know the essence will remain. Your love, my eternal compass, pointing me home again. There are nights when I sit beneath the window, watching the stars reflected in glass, and I wonder if they envy us. They have shone for ages, yet none have built what we did in a single heartbeat. You turned my solitude into a city alive with music, and even silence learned to dance. I remember the tremor in your voice when you first said my name. It was as if the universe paused to listen. That sound has never left me. It echoes through the corridors of my mind, constant as breath. In you, I found not just love, but meaning, and through meaning, I found purpose. You gave me courage to build with faith, to risk everything for something invisible yet real. Our love defies the ordinary. It is a cathedral that touches heaven, a testament to two souls who dared to believe that tenderness could be stronger than stone.